Hi everyone, welcome to the Elevate Project. I'm Ryan. Today we're going to be talking about the AI Huddle Mini Lite from COOLPO. Now this was sent to me free of charge. This isn't a sponsored video. They don't have any influence of what I say, pro or cons with the device. Not only that, they will not be reviewing this video before release. Okay, let's get into it. So this is the AI Huddle Mini Lite. For those of you that's seen my review of the Logitech 4K Brio, if not, you can check it out in the links below. But this has that similar style. It is a little bit bigger. It is beefier. It's got a metal construction, plastic front, and it even comes in with a built-in lens cover for privacy. And it does connect through USB-C. And it comes with a USB-C to a USB-A cable. And it also has a quarter thread mount that you can hook this up onto a tripod. And of course, it has a little lip here to put on your monitor. Now, what is really cool about this particular webcam is the AI feature. This gives you a 4K resolution, gives you 3 fields of view, 120 degrees, 9 degrees, and 60 degrees. And it takes that 100-degree field of view and it will automatically frame you and track you so you have the best framing when you are on a call. So let's get onto the computer and take a look at some of the features. All right, so we're now on my computer. I plugged in the AI Huddle Mini Lite right on my monitor. As you can see in this field of view, it is 120 degrees. So this is what it can fully see. Now by default, it will be the AI or Meeting Flex AI that will be on, and I'll turn that on in a moment. Because what's really important when you install this camera is installing the application or the companion application to take full control of the camera. It is called COOLPO Tools. You just go to the website. I'll put a link here or where that goes or where to go to download the software. It will give you the full control of the camera. So this is a 4K camera. So I think in 120 degrees, as you can see here, is a nice 4K image. Then when you go 90 degrees field of view, it punches in, and then 60 degrees. No, this punches in. Now you're going to notice that I just have the camera set up as is. And as I go manually through 120, 90, or 60, I would have to manually manipulate the camera to get the framing that I want. As you can see here, I'm a little bit too low from the top of the frame. I'm kind of okay on the sides, but I would have to tilt the camera manually to make sure that I'm in frame. What I like about the Meeting Flex AI, I'm going to go back here manually to 120 degree field of view. But if I enable the AI, it will automatically look at the frame, find someone to track, and now I'm framed perfectly for a Zoom call or video conference. And now you can see is that my head is closer to the top. I'm okay on the sides here, and even shows my mic, and I'm good to go. Now you're going to notice that this is called Frame Master. There is group mode when you're having multiple people. So as soon as one person comes in, it will frame properly, having both of you or how many people will be in the group. Now what's really nice about this, if I move, the AI software will absolutely track me to ensure that I'm perfectly framed and I'm good in the shot. So it's really good if I'm moving around and I'm moving, it will track me, which is something that I do love about this. So I don't have to manipulate this, move my sit stand desk up and down. It will automatically frame me when I have the Meeting Flex AI enabled. Now, I do have it set to individual mode. So the difference between the group mode and individual mode, if people start walking by behind me, it will continue tracking just on me, and it won't all of a sudden go to 120 field of view to grab people into the frame. Now, here's another cool feature, which is called Division Master. Now, imagine this. you have a group of people around you, and then you want to have their individual faces separately on the screen just for the viewers on the other end, because you're maybe having a Zoom call and you're collaborating and you're having a team meeting and you're kind of having like I want to say a lot of people in one room. You can see them all together, and they're individually tracked. So because I'm the only one in the room, if I hit Division Master, it will track me and create a separate window just with my face. Again, imagine there's multiple people in the frame. It will have an individual track of their faces all around the screen, which is a pretty neat feature when you have meetings like that, which is kind of cool. So you can see everyone in frame individually, and it does a pretty good job. I mean, it's doing a pretty good job because I'm the only one in frame, but still, that's kind of a cool feature. The audio sensitivity, I'm obviously using my Shure SM7B connected to my Rodecaster Pro, and it's going through here. But that sensitivity is really important because as the mic picks up, will really depend on how far or how close you are to the camera. So farther away, you probably want to have a higher sensitivity. If you're really close, you probably want to go to a low sensitivity for the audio. So you can also mirror, so you can switch back and forth. Again, you can manually, if we take the Meeting Flex AI off, you can manually go through your 60, 90, 120 degree field of view. You can mirror the video, turn that on and off, what you like. So for me, I like the Enable Meeting AI in Frame Master. So this is where it's going to zoom in and frame me properly for my video conference. The next thing, if you want to ensure that you're in the center, you can add on the grid lines. I like this feature as well, but because this does a pretty good job with the framing, I'm pretty good. I check this maybe once, then I turn it off once I save it. But then now is the camera settings. Now, regardless of what webcam that you have, you want to download the companion app to really dial in your picture. Now, there's a few things that I want to note here. These are image modes that are preset, so they're standard. There's bright, which is what I like to keep it at, vivid, and then custom. So custom, you can kind of play around with this, make it really bright, maybe increase the contrast a little bit. Let's reduce the saturation, increase sharpness if you want. So there's a lot of things that you can do to just create the look that you want. For me, like I said, I'm okay with the bright image mode. Once you have this dialed in, you can hit save. So regardless of whatever program that you use, right now I'm using OBS to record this and QuickTime to screen record. And every time you open up like Photo Booth or Zoom or WebEx or Microsoft Teams, this setting will be enabled. So we know right now that we have the Meeting Flex AI, so it's going to frame it automatically. You don't have to fiddle around with the camera. Individual mode, not too worried about audio. Camera settings will be on bright, save it, and I'm good to go. What I notice is that when you're at 120 degrees, it's 4K and you're punching in. So what I mean by that, when I disengage, I got this 120 degree field of view. And what it's doing is within this format, it's tracking me as long as I'm within this 120 degree field of view frame. If I stand up, I sit down, I move to one side or the other side, the AI will just automatically zoom and crop me in so I'm perfectly framed, just like this when I enable this. And boom, I'm good to go. I don't want to say deal breaker just yet. Maybe just something that I'm not used to is this image here, to me, is just really degraded, and it's taking time for this camera to pick up. However, when you're in a Zoom meeting or you are in a Microsoft Teams or any video conference, they're not necessarily going to see you at this size window. It's most likely going to be this size over here. And I'm actually okay with that. And I think maybe that's why I don't really get like, hey, your webcam doesn't look as good it did
before, because I'll typically, before I used and got this webcam, I'd use the Sony FX30 with a 16mm lens and plug it through USB-C and forget about it, I'm good to go. Obviously, I have to manually frame myself to make sure I got the good frame, but as soon as I'm good and this is where I'm sitting or I'm standing most of the time, I'm set and forget it for that meeting. So looking at it, I think it looks pretty good. That being said, how does it look on the receiving end? So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over and get onto a Zoom call, and I'll screen record another device to see what you think.
All right, so we just walked through what it looks like, screen sharing, what you see it on the screen. What is going to be indicative of the actual quality of the image is what you see on the receiving end. So I was able to stream and record through my iPad as the receiver. So I'll show it right over here. So you're going to kind of notice here that I had to show it to you this way because I wasn't able to record the audio. My mistake. But in any case, this is probably the size of the window that you're going to see when you're on a Zoom call when there's more than one person. You may have 3, 4, 5 people, and depending on how big your screen is, this box is going to be indicative of what that image quality is going to look like. And for me, I think it's acceptable. It's not great, and it's not super, super bad, but it is acceptable. Now, keep in mind, this is with a key light. I am in a room in my studio, in my office, where there are no windows. So I'm using key lights to light myself, and it does struggle in low light. So that might change depending on where you are. If you have open windows and you're able to get some natural light onto your subject. However, I think it's acceptable. Final thoughts on the AI Huddle Mini Lite. I am absolutely amazed by the auto framing, that AI feature. It really makes it easier for me, especially when I have a sit-stand desk where I don't have to manually fiddle with the camera. It does a really good job. It takes a few seconds to track you, and once it does, it's perfect. Now, the one thing that I did notice is that degradation of image quality is because it's taking that 120-degree field of view, which is most likely in 4K, and then within that frame, it's tracking the subject and it's zooming in and then cropping, which means that there is going to be a reduced image quality, which I did notice even on the computer side where I'm viewing it, where there is a lot of grain. However, that being said, it's still acceptable on the receiving end from my point of view. It is something that I'm not used to because when I have a webcam set up on my computer, it's a little bit better quality because it's taking in that limited field of view and not punching in. However, that AI feature is rock solid. I really did enjoy that feature. One thing to think about is when you want the best quality image, it's not going to beat out something like a mirrorless camera. So for me, when it's a very important Zoom call or video conference, or I'm trying to impress someone, I am going to use either my FX30 or my A7 IV, which I can connect through USB directly into my computer, and it treats it like a webcam. And what really makes the big difference is the lenses that I put onto those cameras versus, as you can see here, this is a small lens, which is not going to get you that same quality. The one thing that was almost a deal breaker for me of continuing to use this is that image quality, because I'm just not used to it. That being said, I haven't had anyone tell me that my image quality is bad or that they've noticed a big difference from my image quality when I was using, let's say, my iPhone or a mirrorless camera. So I was okay with that. And I will continue using this. Value-wise, also another thing to think about. You're paying for this device, and in the time of this recording, it's retailing for over $200 US. I'll put the exact price right down here. And I think for value for those AI features, I think you can still get better value out of other webcams like the Logitech 4K Brio or even the Elgato Webcam, which I've also reviewed, and I'll put those links below. Hopefully you found some value in this video. If you have, please hit that like button. For that, I'll leave it up to you. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the quality is acceptable, or do you think it's not acceptable and probably not worth the money? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Be safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.